Blah, blah, blah. All right, restart.
Don't wet the bed, nigga.
Nah, I practiced this junk without my notes because I want to do it without my notes. And I've been doing it without my notes all day. And as soon as I do it now, I forget. All right. Thank you for tuning in to Be Honest. I'm your host, Coach Troy Russell. This show features 3 former Washington Husky greats, football greats. I got Rose Bowl MVP, Charles Mincy. What up, Chuck?
Hey, what's up, Troy?
Hey, man, what's going on? How's it going today, man? You ready to get this going?
I'm ready to get going, man. Let's go.
Let's go. I got 1991 national champion, Don Jones. What's up, Don?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Man, you doing all right today?
Hey, I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed.
And, it's exciting to get going, man. I'm really excited about this. And I got 1990 Doak Walker Award winner, Greg Lewis. How you doing today, Greg?
You know, the running back's in the house, so it's time to get it moving.
Doak Walker Award, for those of you that don't know, Doak Walker Award is for the nation's top running back. Greg was the inaugural winner, the very first winner of that award. So it's pretty awesome accomplishment for him.
Right there.
You know, that's what's up. Hey, Chuck, I guess I'm going to start with you, man. We're going to get the show started off with the topic that's on everybody's mind, man, and what's really going on in the world today, and with the movement and what's happening in our country as far as us, you know, trying to get what's ours. And I think the question that's on my mind is, you know, basically what's been happening with NASCAR and our white brothers stepping up to try and, you know, lend their voice to the movement. Do you think that helps?
Yeah, big time, man. I mean, it's just like anytime there's a movement, demographics going to play a part. You know, just like back in the day when what's her name, Harriet Beecher Stowe wrote that, the classic Uncle Tom's Cabin. You know, that stirred a lot of, you know, just to be honest, stirred a lot of white women up. And they was putting the pressure in their households on what was going on down in the South. And it created a buzz, it created momentum. And we need, you know, other people that's going to get into the fight. And it was encouraging to see all the rallies all around the world here. And, you know, it's a good thing, man. It's going to take all sides to kind of come to grips. And I think that, you know, the video was just so hard to watch that it just made it easy to kind of, you know, look, something's got to be done. All right, we've heard people talking enough. So, yeah, man, it's a good thing.
Absolutely. Don, what you think, man?
No doubt about it. I mean, this movement is not going to happen unless we get the majority, which is our white brothers, on our side. Because as you can look at history, you know, things didn't change until the white leaders got involved and start supporting the cause. I mean, because, you know, with their support, things. I mean, things would change so quickly. And at the same time, I think we as Black race have to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge when they do make change, instead of saying, I've heard somebody on the ESPN saying, well, you know, they should have done it a long time ago. No, you know, we got to have the attitude of unity and embracing them when they do make a change and move on. I think that's important. You know, you look at Alvin Kamara for the New Orleans Saints today. Guess where he went today?
To NASCAR. Yeah, I saw that.
Mm-hmm. That's what we got to do. We got to jump on board with them, and don't, you know, we got to forgive and you know, and we got to heal as a country, and we got to do it together.
Greg, man, why do you think it took this incident, the George Floyd, and just the recent, you know, the Breonna Taylors and Ahmaud Arbery's, and this period of time for the white, you know, our white counterparts to really jump in the movement?
Well, I mean, if you're talking just people in general and not sports and athletes and the sports world, it's because we're all sitting at home. We're all, you know, hunkered down from coronavirus, COVID-19 pandemic. I think this video that we saw lasted almost 9 minutes, and we watched the life leave a human being. And I was watching it, and I hope that as many people around the world watched it, they didn't see a Black man with the life being choked out of him. They saw a human being. And that is really what sparks the change. When people are able to see themselves in the victim, when they're able to see their brothers, their sisters, their cousins, their uncles, their aunts in the face of that person who's being tortured, whose life is being snuffed out. I think that moves the human emotion. And if we can really come to this with the human emotion being involved in this, I think everybody, senses that something really, really has to change. Unfortunately, it's our Black bodies that are typically the one that's on the screen that are enduring all of these things. So we definitely have to be honest and say that this is happening to our people. But I think until the majority, white folks or whoever, see this as a human issue, it'll go away with the quickest fad, just like it normally does. And as soon as everything's opened back up and people can get their haircuts and their toes done and all of that, they'll forget about all of this. But I think, some people are really grasping that human moment on this one.
Chuck, man, what do you think about, guys like, Drew Brees and Baker Mayfield today came out and said, I'm going to kneel. What do you think that it says to the masses that feel like this movement is about the flag? What do you think it says to them people that are, kind of against it when those type guys come out and say, no, man, we're with these dudes, man, Drew Brees stand up to the president and stuff like that? What do you think about that, man, and about what kind of message that sends?
Well, I think, first of all, that we need to keep an atmosphere where people can be honest. I think, Drew Brees was flat out wrong in what he originally said. But I also think, man, that, we got to keep an atmosphere where cats can be honest, because without him being honest and saying what he said, there was really no other perspective. And there's a lot of people that feel that way. So without him having, being brave enough to say what he said, even though I felt it was wrong, and, without people, if people just silently end up just have all that angst and bitterness, it's gonna show out in the election. you can say what you want to, but guess which way the people gonna silently vote. So you got to keep the dialogue open, man. You got to have people have to be able to talk and speak their what their truth is, And I think that's gonna be a lot of it, man. That we got to be able to keep that dialogue open and speak real truth to issues, man, because nobody wants to diss the flag, but the flag can't be held in more honor than the people it's supposed to represent. And that people, we are part of them people. So, if the flag comes before we do, then I think it's just a bit of, we're putting too much on it,
Yeah, I hear you, Don, man. Like I was just asking Chuck, man, what do you think about the J.J. Watts and what he said today and what, like I said, and what Baker was saying? I mean, what do you think about that? Like, do you think that when they stand up with all the Black athletes, man, the Malcolm Jenkins and all those guys, man, do you really think that athletes can really make a change, man? Do you think that we in sports can make a change, man, just being who we are?
Oh, no doubt about it. I think the locker room is like a microcosm of society. You got different races, and in each locker room, with different ideas, people, different cultures. But one thing about the locker room, it can also be the most united front, most united front, in society, because as as my brothers here, who played and who've been in part of locker rooms, how intimate it can get, and everybody in the world is watching. So and everybody in the country looks up to athletes. It's been that way. They're the ones they're always in the media. People want to hear what they got to say, and by them stepping up, and being a leader, not only in their locker room, but they're also a leader in their communities. J.J. Watt, I mean, he has the utmost respect. When we get guys like Drew Brees, J.J. Watts, Tom Brady, that's huge, and that's going to be a serious. It's going to put a dent in the ideology of racism and how people are thinking. It's going to change help change some minds and hearts.
So, Greg, man, what do you think about guys like Joey Bosa's and the Mason Rudolphs and some of the guys that quietly, I've heard in the background that may not be so understanding of what we're going through? What do you think that their role in locker rooms are going to look like? How do you think locker rooms are going to either come together or break apart because of this movement?
Well, I can say this. I have a sense that folks are really tired of this. The professional athletes in their world are tired of the lip service that's been given. They're tired of the naysayers. And it's really coming down to you either for us or against us. That's the movement or the feeling that I got. And so these locker rooms where cats, you know, are maybe undercover racists or undercover, you know, criticizing the movement, they're going to get exposed, one. Number two, it's going to have an impact and effect on those locker rooms if they can't have that come to Jesus moment where everybody gets it out on the table, sit down and listen and try to come on one accord. Because if they don't, you know, it's going to fracture the locker room and you're not going to win that way. And I think that, you know, me, if I was in a locker room right now, you know, I've been retired for a few years, but if I was, I'd probably be one of the louder voices saying, look, you know, we need to go out here and really make a stand because I'm just tired. You know, I'm really tired of all the foolishness, all the hypocrisy, you know, all of the excuse making and all of that stuff. So, you know, at this point, I would be one of those voices in the locker room that called folks out and call stuff out. And you got to have leaders like that who do that. Because I think at the end of the day, everybody's got to come together in that locker room, or that team is going to be on the outside looking in. You know, not that playoffs and championships and all that stuff is super important right now, but in the life of a team, that's what the owners and the coaches are going to be looking for. And if these guys are on different sides of this and they're split in the locker room, it's definitely going to show up on the field.
Man, so what do you guys, you know, this is for anybody, I guess, that really wants to speak on it. What do you guys think needs to be done? I mean, as far as we know that people are speaking up, but what's the next action? Like, what's the next action step that can be taken, man, to kind of move this thing forward?
Well, you know, I think, and I've been speaking this for a while, man, I think that there needs to be a national police reform. You know, I think there need to be some laws and policies that are applicable nationwide. I don't think any longer we're too diverse of a nation where you know, our populace has grown, you know, to 340, 50 million, somewhere around there, to where we can't really just sit and say, okay, you down in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, you got a set of rules. You up in Seattle, Washington, you got a set of rules. Up in Maine, your small little town, you got a set of rules. It can't be like that anymore, man. We're you know, we travel a lot. Everybody gets around. You know, everybody's meeting people from all over via, you know, the internet. So people are exploring places they never have before. You can't afford to be in a place where you don't know what the local police or how they're going to respond to you because of who you are. It just has to be, you know, a national database on brutality, you know, that the FBI needs to keep numbers on. And then from there, from our side, man, just, you know, keeping it, to be honest, as far as the black man goes, we need to start pointing ourselves in direction, setting ourselves up for success going forward, which means this economy is going towards, you know, technology and STEM, and we need to make this push towards that type of education. You know, if we're going to ask for dollars for stuff, let's ask for dollars for that type stuff, you know, to where we're pushing in that direction, you know, and let's use the momentum that's going in that direction. You know, I don't want to waste time in and pushing over statues and all that old nonsense. I mean, that's cool and it's symbolic, but let's push some kids in position to pay for our doggone Social Security when we retire, you know? Like, we want our kids to be successful going forward.
Man, that's deep. Love it. Love it. What you think, Don?
Let me jump in and say this, though. Something really pressing on my heart here. You know, I agree with you, Charles, but the fact of the matter is that's going to take time, and that's going to take coordination. That's going to take an effort and movement and votes and referendums and all that kind of stuff. But in the meantime, what's a brother supposed to do? So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. In the meantime, I'm going to protect me and mine. And anybody run up on me, I don't care if you are vigilating in the neighborhood, whether you black, white, blue, or whatever, you know, I think it's your responsibility to protect yourself, to protect your family. And so we can't continue to be on these videos getting snuffed out with everybody watching and taking a video. You know, we got to get to action. So I'm a pledge right now. If I see a cop with his foot on somebody's neck, killing them, I'm going to tackle the cop. You know, I'm gonna dust off my old defensive form from when I played in high school or something. And you know, I just feel like I gotta protect myself and I gotta protect my family. You know, we can't just continue to be victims. We have to, you know, make sure that we're in a position where we can protect our own lives. The first fundamental right is the right to live. And I'm gonna protect that with everything I got. So until, you know, they come in agreement with me, you know, I think it behooves us to make sure that we have the mindset and the mentality that we're gonna take care of ourselves and we're gonna take care of our families. And hopefully that'll spread to, you know, we're gonna take care of our communities, our neighborhood, and our fellow human beings. So I just wanna put that out there. You know, I'm just keeping it real where I'm at right now with all of this.
Yeah. Don, you want to weigh in on this at all?
Yeah, but I feel what you're saying, Greg. But we got to be careful too, because we don't want to have, you know, a war against the police. We can't, you know, we can't really, you know, we can't win that battle. We might win that particular battle, but we won't win the war. I mean, it's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna solve the problem. You know, because
I'm just trying to stay alive, bro. I'm not going to be a martyr laying there just so we can say, well, I don't want to start a war. You know,
I don't believe in martyrism either.
At a certain point, we got to save our lives, man.
Jesus died for our sins. That's about it. I'm not dying for nobody's sins or nobody cause. I don't believe in it either. I kind of agree a bit with both of you. You know, like I don't feel like you should be a martyr. I don't feel like you should be a victim. I'm 100% for protecting yours, and I'm gonna take it a step forward. Like we got to stop some of the stuff, man. Like Chris Rock, man. Since some of the stuff I believe is on the conservative level, some of the stuff I believe on the liberal level. And when it comes to the Second Amendment, I'm a big pusher of that. You can't tell me, oh, we need to have less guns. You had less guns, because I believe in the right to carry. I believe in the right to keep it in your house. I believe that should be a right. Look, man, when people know that there's other people armed, people don't act a fool as much. It's just the nature of who people are. Like, they just don't. So,
And I just,
harsh.
Yeah, I'm not saying, Don, let's go to war with the police or anything like that. I'm just saying when you find yourself in a situation where you have to protect yourself or someone you love, we got to stop being afraid to do that. We just have to stop being afraid and let atrocities happen right in front of us. We can't keep doing that. Absolutely not.
I hear you.
Yep, you know, I definitely respect that. But you know, we got to be smart about it too at the same time. You know, you know, we can't. You know, like if you usually cops aren't going to be by themselves. But you know, so we got to be. You want to make sure we can fight a battle that we can win, and we don't want. It's like what Chuck was saying. We don't want to be martyrs out there. You know, for the cause. You know, we got to be smart about it, and you know, in these situations. You got to use wisdom and restraint, but at the same time, you know,